Friends, good morning. James and Pete with you for our weekly video. Just to let you know, most of our staff are working from home, but those of us who need to be in here are working from the property. James, you've just had some leave. Welcome back.
Had a week's holiday, grew a beard of sorts.
Very handsome.
Thank you, working on that. Not as good as Jace's beard, but we'll get there maybe.
Yeah, how's your week?
Yeah, it was different because we weren't away or anything like that, but there is something about different routine, different pace that's quite relaxing. Did a lot of painting. The kids were glad to get a lot more screen time than they normally did.
I bet they were.
We couldn't get out. But all in all, a good time as a family over that week. So.
You went for a few walks in there?
Yeah, so as we'd kind of gone into our holidays, we talked about praying for our street, praying for community group members as we go for a walk. And I love that idea. But I discovered that when we went out for some walks, I spent most of my time managing a puppy who wanted to lick everything in sight. And at least one child who was complaining about having to go out for a walk.
It's just one of these things that in concept is brilliant, but the reality often looks very different.
It wasn't a very prayerful time. So I've been thinking, well, maybe it looks different for different families.
Yeah, right.
I mean, some families won't walk together because of the age of their kids and so on.
Yeah. So what would work for the Lewises?
We always pray when we have dinner in the evenings, and we sort of give thanks and pray for a few things. So I think that's a space to do that. And we've started praying for other people who are finding lockdown difficult because our kids aren't yet.
Yeah, right.
They're actually quite excited about school being at home.
Yeah.
I think that's one way it might work for us to do that.
So the challenge here, isn't it, is to just put on all of our hearts a prayerfulness that the Lord will show his face to those who don't know him yet within our streets or those who are around us, but also praying pastorally and caring for those who we know and love here at church as well. Whatever way that might work for you, come before the Lord. It's a great thing.
Yeah, and I think there is something very good for us as we look outside ourselves and consider and pray for others. That's actually really helpful for our spiritual well-being, for our own mental well-being as well.
Yeah. Interestingly, speaking of mental well-being, on our Facebook page, we've just put up a post which gives a whole lot of ideas around how to manage yourself well as Christians in a time such as this. It talks about things such as being thankful and a whole bunch of other things. You might want to have a look at that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So new sermon series starting this week.
We kick off 1 John this Sunday.
Now, I haven't spent a lot of time in 1 John, just public confession. And when I dipped into it, it's quite a complicated book.
It's a very complicated book. We actually preached it at Norwest years ago, and I swore we'd never do it again. But here we are, because what the heck? Let's round 2, and let's see if we can do better. And the more time I've spent in it, James, recently and over the last couple of years, the more I've come to realise what a profound and important book it is for us all to understand. Okay, so help us kind of transition into that. Give us a teaser, a soundbite for Sunday as we kick off the series. Well, I'll give you a big thought, for not just for Sunday, but for the whole series. John is referred to by many as the Apostle of Love. And actually, if you read 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, 1 John 4, there's all these passages on love, on what it is to love one another, and plenty of passages like that. God is love, this is love, and on and on. And yet, at the very same time, in this book of 1 John, John uses some of the strongest, most strident, bordering on aggressive language for those with whom he disagrees. Some of the strongest language in the whole New Testament. The question is, how can the Apostle of Love use such strong language and within a church community, and how does that hold together? We're going to be looking at that, and it's really interesting.
Yeah. Well, it's very countercultural because many people in our culture would say you can't be loving and disagree. You know, so that's interesting. Looking forward to that.
Be great.
So kicking that off this Sunday. Looking forward to seeing you online. And if you're joining us online, please do say good day and hook into question time. It's a great way for us to be gathering together as a community, even when we can't be in the auditorium together. But looking forward to seeing you then. God bless, and see you then.
See ya.